So, CyberPower has a couple gaming PCs for sale that I just want to go over. I'm going to be focusing on this one strictly because for an extra $30 you get the RX 5700 XT over the RX 5700. Everything else is pretty much generically the same. This one gets a slightly different case, and for whatever reason it advertises two GPUs in there. That's not true. Um, it They both say that they get 180 FPS, which obviously doesn't make sense. Like, this one would definitely get much higher FPS on Call of Duty than 180. Anyways, yeah, that doesn't matter. Let's just pull it up. So I'm just going to go over a couple quick things that you aren't going to get with this PC because I was tricked myself by looking at the pictures. So you definitely are not going to get the Corsair liquid cooler. You're also not going to get the RGB keyboard, and you are not going to get as it is now 240 millimeter liquid cooler. You get the 120 millimeter. But don't worry, we're just going to go over just a couple things. So you also don't get any RGB fans. I should point that out as well. So let's get right into it. So above all, everything that comes in this is actually quite good, and I have to give it to CyberPower. They did a really good job with the price of this computer. Even if you don't get all those fancy lights, you can get those later down the road. Normally I don't defend CyberPower whatsoever, but they're actually pretty honest about everything you're getting in this. So you get the Ryzen 7 3700X, that's absolutely perfect processor, as well as the RX 5700 XT, which is absolutely perfect high-end graphics card and will last quite a while. You also get 16 gigabytes of RAM at DDR4 3000 speed ballistic. This is the kind of RAM that I use in my rig, and I have to say that it's absolutely perfect. Nothing over the top. It's not RGB, so don't get your hopes up there either. It also comes with a 600 watt standard gold, where it is a CyberPower, so we could probably just knock that down to being a 600 bronze. And then a 240 gigabyte SSD where your Windows will be saved, and then 2 gigabytes of RAM on top, 2 terabytes of hard drive on top of that. Sorry, getting tongue twist, trying to get ahead of myself. And above all, like, everything's really, really good, but I am going to just point out just a quick couple little things that I would do personally to try to get away from spending so much money if you don't have to. So you don't get this, but they have it for, an extra $5, so you can get the RGB if you want. It doesn't come with it, and then you can also get the RGB mouse. So let's just see what parts come with this when we click it, 'cause you can just scroll up, and let's just see what mouse we get with this. And we can see that this one's tagged. This is just the generic one. I've used this one before. It's perfectly fine. Same with the keyboard you're going to get. That's the headset I have. It's really good. Where are you? Keyboards. You get this generic keyboard. But that hot buy thing for an extra $5 get the RGB keyboard, I think I would do it. And we're going to try to make it so you can get it for free. I wouldn't change the mouse. The mouse that RGB mouse, I've had it before in the past and it sucked. I used it for a short amount of time and I didn't like it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to switch, because this is a standard liquid cooler you get. It does look pretty cool. It does have the mirror, but we're going to switch it out to the Cooler Master liquid cooler 240 40 millimeter fan. So that means that you get two. And yeah, it's RGB. It looks pretty nice. It's pretty much idiot proof. And I would take this one over for the $2 less. Next, we're going to look at cases, because I believe there's a couple cases that we can look at to save some cash. That's my monitor. Oh my god, there's just so much stuff. And I passed it. So let's scroll back up and scroll up to the top, and then we're going to find case. Game chassis, perfect. So let's see if there's any game chassis we can pick to save some cash money. So I don't want to give up anything like the cooling. So we got to keep in mind we get no RGBs whatsoever, so all these fancy little cool looking lights we don't get unless you choose an expensive one that comes with it. Now the RGBs at the front of these cases will come. That's not a bad case for $10 less. We'll take a look-see at it in a sec. But this one's got the RGB strip already on the front. It's possible to look at this one. See, that's kind of cool. I'd rather have it on the front than down the side. And it still has the fan spot, so that's good, and the huge spot for a giant liquid cooler in case you ever feel like upgrading. Yeah, you know what? For $8 less, I would go with this one. This one has the RGB down the side. I would rather it at the front. Even if it is slightly worse cooling, because it doesn't look like it has any at the front, those two at the side should pull in more than enough air for the front. It's more about getting the hot air out than it is necessarily pulling cold air in. 2 fans with an open concept is more than enough. So we're going to go with this one. And then because we just saved some cash, going to get the sweet little keyboard. And then check out the price, $1,290. So perfect. So let's just take a quick little look at this. Let's just keep in mind that we do not have Windows 10 on this. Windows 10 Pro is $14 on Amazon.ca, the Canadian one. You buy it on there and then they email you the code. That's pretty much what everyone's doing now. And it is also missing fans completely. You aren't getting RGB ones, so we can add like an extra $5. It has the Wi-Fi already built in with the Asus gaming motherboard, which is the exact same one. Same, different. So the RX 5700 XT that you are going to get in the CyberPower is going to be a blower style, which is loud, but it's doable. And then a Corsair case, and then the 600 watt bronze, because I knocked down the gold to a bronze. And then we're also missing a mouse and a keyboard, fans, and windows. So roughly it would probably 10, 20, 30, 40, I would say $50. So it'd be 1,300, and this one is 1,290. So it would be cutting it pretty close, but the benefit is you don't have to build this yourself if you're not comfortable. So I would give it that the CyberPower is actually worth its money, which is surprising. Without the discount, no, absolutely not. But with the discount, and you can select a couple different parts and get the RGB keyboard and actually choose a decent liquid cooler, this one's perfectly fine. I would have to give it to Ryzen that, like, it's just better. So this is the difference between the RX 5700 and the XT. In case you're looking at the other one, you might as well take the extra 7% average FPS, and then the power behind it is 18%, and then the value is 50%. So it's 50% better to buy this one, and considering it's almost $100 difference for $30 on CyberPower, you might as well just go for it. You won't be disappointed with this rig. Oh, it changed. It's already gone. No, it's got to still be there. Nope, she's gone. That's hilarious. So yeah, $1,290 for this thing, since we did knock it down $5 by switching the case, switching out the liquid cooler, and then also getting the RGB keyboard for $5 more, which was practically free. So just had to go over those little differences. And yeah, so it will be louder, and it will probably be a little bit warmer of a build going with CyberPower, but it would work perfectly fine. All those parts are completely compatible and will work good.